Hey everyone, it's Sarah. I'm here with sewingmachine.com, and today we're going to do a demo of Brother's new PrintModa Studio. Do you guys want to jump in? Do you have anything to say to start us off?
Hey, good morning. So we're here in the sewingmachine.com Alpharetta location. My name is Richard. We have Dana and Deborah here as well, and we're looking forward to learning all about the new Brother PrintModa fabric printer and having Sarah teach us some fantastic things that you can do with it.
All right, I will take it away. Okay, so do you want to jump in too? No. Okay, so I have Brother's PrintModa Studio right here behind me. And this is actually an inkjet ink printer. So very familiar to all of us, something that we might have in our office right now. And what Brother has done with the PrintModa Studio is that they've added a tray that holds a fabric roll. So here's my fabric tray right here. And this is my roll of fabric. Ta-da! So this is 100% cotton. It's a nice bright white, and it's specially treated to absorb the ink in the printer for when you print your beautiful creations. It comes in a 5-yard roll, and it has a nice backing on here that helps it to feed smoothly through the printer. And when you're done printing, that backing peels off. There's no residue left behind, and you have a nice lightweight woven cotton. It's super easy to load this into your tray. Slip the fabric underneath, pull it up to the top. There are some notches at the back of the tray right here that help it feed into the printer. And then I load it in. And we're ready to go. As easy as that. So like I said, this is an inkjet ink printer. So this is where our inks are stored. These probably look very familiar to you. It's CMYK cartridges. They load in and out of the printer really easily. And a standard set of these inks will last you for 7 rolls of fabric. So like I said, the fabric roll has 5 yards on it. So that's around 35 yards of fabric that you could print with one standard set of ink. Isn't that awesome? Now, it does have a tray for a fabric roll, but there's also a tray for paper. So this is a standard paper tray. I have no paper in here right now, as you could see, because it would just fall out when I showed this to you guys. But these slide to adjust to your different paper sizes. You could print on computer paper, you could print photo paper, and it goes right in here. There's also a tray back here where you could feed paper in. You could even put envelopes in there. So this is a really versatile printer. Not only can you get creative with printing on fabric, but you could also take care of all of your home office needs, printing documents and anything you might need on the printer. There's a USB port as well, so you could print your photos directly from a USB stick with the printer onto, like I said, photo paper or computer paper. Now, when it comes to printing on your fabric roll, you're going to need Brother's Art Spira app. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so this is Brother's Art Spira app. And if you haven't checked it out yet, this is a free app to download for Apple or Android users, and it works on your phone or your tablet. Now there's lots and lots and lots to look at here. I could talk about this app for hours, but today we're going to focus on how to use it with PrintModa Studio. So the way that PrintModa Studio was designed is to be used with the Artspira app when you're printing anything on fabric. So right at the top here, we can go to our printing designs category. And here we have all different categories for printing projects. So we can select any of these categories here. Let's start with the bags and the pouches. Now, these are extra special because these are full projects. So when you select one of these designs, it gives you a materials list as well as the printing data that you need to make the bag and step-by-step instructions on how to sew it together. So by the end of this, you'll walk away with a beautiful finished bag. So that's the bags and pouches category. We also have banners. Now, all of these templates are customizable in their own way. So if we select a design here, I have my birthday banner printed out behind me. First off, it gives you a preview of the project. It gives you the dimensions so you know how long it's going to be. Once you press create, you can zoom in and you could tap on different elements to edit them. So if your name is not Ethan, you can go to change down at the bottom and you can use the keyboard to type in your name. And in a pinch, you have a beautiful customized banner. And I can tell you, these banners print out in about a minute. That's super fast. They shoot right out of the printer, and you have a beautiful banner to display and use for years and years. What I do with mine is I just keep that backing. I kept this plastic backing on my banner to add a little extra rigidity to it. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not. And then I also went and embroidered eyelets in each corner so that I can hang it up for my party. And there are banners for all different kinds of holidays and events. We have kids' birthdays. We have congratulations banners. We have Thanksgiving banners and Christmas banners, all right here, ready for you to customize, print out, and display. Now, combination projects. So Artspira works with your scan and cut, your embroidery machine, and your PrintModa. I'm focusing today on PrintModa because if I start talking about the other uses, I will get carried away. And before we know it, we'll be here for 3 hours talking about everything you can do with Artspira app. But for printing designs in the combination category, these are projects that incorporate multiple different machines. So you'll print a bulk of the project with PrintModa, and then there are different elements that allow you to cut out a portion of it with your scan and cut and maybe embroider another part with your embroidery machine. So underneath each of these thumbnails, you'll see tiny little icons for your scan and cut, your printer, or your embroidery machine. And that will let you know which machines are incorporated in that project. So let's take a look at the printing and cutting Christmas tree here. So we have a nice preview of our design with our dimensions. We go to create. We can see the design here. We can change the text if we'd like. We can swap out the tree. Once you go to done, you have your two categories here. You have print, so it's going to print the Christmas tree and the text. Then when you go to cut, this is what will transfer over to your scan and cut machine. So these different elements you can cut out with vinyl on your scan and cut, and then you can arrange them on your Christmas tree that has been printed with PrintModa Studio. We also have some beautiful frame designs. I love this photo frame here. I have her printed up and hanging in my studio. It's beautiful and vibrant, and you can see how well photos are printed with the PrintModa Studio. The quality is really crisp, and it's a beautiful way to display your family photos.
Can you show us how to import that photo?
Sure. Okay, once you select a project that has a photo element, all you have to do to swap out for your own photo is tap on the photo itself. Now let me move my phone screen over a little bit because I think the bottom is being blocked. Okay, there we go. So now we have the change icon down here. And Artspira pulls from all of the images that are on your device. So any photo that's on my phone right now, I can access through the Artspira app. Same with if you're using this on your tablet. Any photos that are on your tablet will be accessed through the app, and you can easily see all your photos and then select one, swap it out.
Using as a framed art, but is that also used for the t-shirt memory quilts? Is that where we would put grandpa's picture and put grandma's picture for our t-shirt quilt? Is it that same setting?
So I'm not totally familiar with t-shirt memory quilts, but there is a way to just print out a photo not in a frame. Would that be more applicable? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll get to that a little bit later. I'm going to go through more projects, and then I'll show you guys how to create with a blank template.
Okay.
So let's see what else we have here. So before we move on to that, is that big enough for you guys to see still?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so another feature that I love here are the built-in label designs, and these are perfect for quilts or custom projects that you're making. Now, the printer has a minimum printing length of 8.27 inches, so you can't print any smaller than that, meaning you can't just print a 3-inch label, but Brother has optimized these quilt label templates so that when you select one, it makes use of that minimum space, and it gives you 6 labels in one piece. So you're not just printing one little label and wasting the rest of that empty space. And then each label is individually editable, so you can put a nice message on one, you can put birthdays on another, anything you'd like. You can tap on each to edit them. Really easily change the font, change the name in there. You can change the color of the labels and customize your project in a pinch. We also have some built-in quilt blocks. And there are different size options for these. So you could see here on the dimensions chart, there's a small, medium, and a large option. So depending on your project, you can select which size best suits you. Again, a lot of different elements in here are editable, so you can tap on them. You can change to a pattern. These are the included patterns in the app. And Brother recently released a paid subscription for this app called Artspira Plus. So anything you see on here that has a little crown means that that's part of the paid subscription. Anything without the crown is included for free. So we can use any of the patterns in here, swap it out, change to a different color. and of course, change your photo until you have a custom design. Now, if you want to save your design because you worked really hard on it and you don't want to lose it, in the free version, you're able to save 20 designs, and with the Art Spirit Plus subscription, you can save up to 100 different projects. So I'm going to go ahead and save that.
And as you create new projects, can you go back and delete projects so that you free up space so that you can save something new?
Yes, you can. So from the home screen, we can go up to the top to the little heart icon. These are all of our, These are our favorited projects and designs. So as you're browsing through the app and you see different designs that you like, you can favorite them. They'll all be saved here. But for projects that you create and edit yourself, that's down at the bottom under My Creations. This is where all of those projects are stored. So because I have the paid subscription, you could see all the way at the bottom, it says 12 out of 100. So I have 12 projects saved out of 100 that I'm allowed. If you're using the free version, it'll say 12 out of 20. And that's a really easy way to see if you have to start deleting some old projects or if you have plenty of space. So here's our dog quilt block that we just designed, saved in there for me to use and print anytime I want. So it's very fun to just sit on here, design and save. Even if you don't want to print them right away, you can just have fun designing and saving whatever you'd like and then print them whenever you're ready to start your project. Let's take a look at the included patterns. So under fabric patterns, these are all of our included patterns. There's lots of fun ones here. We love the dogs. We love the llamas. And once you create with any of these, it drops it onto the fabric for you. You can change the size of that fabric at any point. So, minimum length that we talked about is 8.27 inches, but we didn't mention the maximum. And you can print 3 yards at once, continuously, with no stopping, no breaks, nothing. So that is the huge advantage of having a roll of fabric to print on, is that you can print big banners, big wall art, up to 3 yards continuously without stopping, and just print to your heart's desire. So to edit the length here, I can just drop right in, create 72 inches. There you go. I have yardage of my beautiful llamas. Now, if you wanted to design off the app, let's say you're an artist and you do your own drawings and you want to print it out as fabric, all you have to do is save it as an image to your device, your phone or your tablet, where you use Art Spirit. And then you could go right in, select the design. This is a banner design that I created myself. And it drops onto the template. And there you go. You have a custom banner or custom fabric or custom anything. You could do so much with this app. So let's talk about another way to create for printing. So we started off with the printing designs category, and those are all of our templates. But what if you don't want to use a template? Well, you can go into New down at the bottom, go to the Printing tab, and there are 2 more options that you can use that we could talk about here. So in Design Editor, this is going to start you off by asking you what size you want to print. I'll start with letter for now, but again, we can print up to 3 yards. And then it asks me what I want to fill the page with. If I needed just a small piece of purple fabric, there you go. You could drop your purple color in there. There are even a couple of gradation options to choose from. Then you have all of those beautiful patterns that we were looking at. You can select any one of those and print a little piece for your quilt or a project that you're working on. They're great for applique as well. I have an example of an applique that I did with these fabrics. You can also access your images. So if you just wanted to print a family photo on fabric to display, this is how you do it. You choose how big you want it and you drop it onto your page. Now, let's say that's too big. No problem. You can tap it, press crop, pinch, and shrink it down. Now, if you don't want to waste any white space and you wanted to add another photo, that's easy to do as well. All you have to do is press the blue plus button, select camera roll, select another photo, and there you go. So this is a brand new feature that was just added with the new update, the ability to edit and add multiple images on one page. And it's really exciting because now you can create collages right here in the app and you don't have to waste any space if you want to print something smaller than 8.5 inches. Aside from photos, you can also add printing data. So any of the designs that are in the app, let's see what we have here. We'll add a little owl, why not? You can pull those from the app and drop them right in to add to your collage. Isn't that awesome? So let's take a look at some samples that I have. Is there a question?
No, we're good. We're fascinated.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is an example of just, I'll take my phone away for a second. So right here, sorry about the glare, printed out a vacation photo, put it in the frame here, and it's a great way to display your photos. No glare if I hold it far back. Now for applique, it's really fun to create your own fabrics and then use them on clothing, hats, bags. You could create your own patches with your family's faces. You could get really creative with this stuff. This hat I love because it looks super cute. And it's a rescue because it was a pretty bad, messed up embroidery job in there. We all have those days where our embroidery just isn't going right. Well, I was able to save this hat by printing my own fabric. I created this heart shape actually in my design center on my luminaire, and I appliqued it right on top of my messed up embroidery. And not only did I save the hat, but I added some value. So there you go. I made a little photo album cover here. So before Artspira had the ability, you had the ability to make collages. What I was doing to get around that little speed bump, which we don't have anymore because you can make collages on the app, like I told you. I was making collages in a different editing software, saving it as an image, and then opening it up in Artspira. And that way I was able to print my beautiful collage. And what I did was I printed 2 pages, one with my photo on the front and one that was just the grid design, cut out my pattern pieces, and I sewed together a nice little photo album cover. This is definitely one of my favorite samples. This is a silly little dog photo. He's kind of dressed up as a decorated war general, I guess. And I printed him with PrintModa, then I quilted him in the hoop and made an iPad case.
That's very nice.
That's awesome.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, the quilting's amazing on there.
Yeah, I did that all in the hoop with my Luminaire. So easy. Now imagine the Christmas gifts or holiday gifts that you can make. You could put your family's pets on items and sew all these custom projects for them, make beautiful wall art, and just really highly customized items. I love it so much. I'm really excited to get started on my holiday gifts for everyone. I also made my own fabric here. I love flowers, so I took an image of wildflowers. I used the geometric feature, which I didn't even show you guys yet. There's more to see in the Artsphere app. And I created my own fabric and I used it on the back of a bookmark.
Yeah, those are really cute.
Thank you. Now I'll just show a couple more examples of printed patterns. These are included in the app. I love pink. If you can't tell, I printed a lot of pink patterns here. But the colors come out really vibrant. The built-in designs are really fun. And all of the designs that have been added for the Artsphere Plus function are so beautiful and so fun. There's a new chicken pattern that I love. This is another example of a geometric print. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. Here's my Sweet Treats fabric, one of the free included patterns. And you can see this is just a standard, very lightweight and easy to use, really versatile for a lot of different projects.
Very cute.
Yes.
Perfect. So back in the app, I still have to show you the geometric patterns feature. So let's move on. So that was our design editor where you can add your own photos, create your own collages, do solid prints, do gradient prints, and you can also, I don't think I made it this far, but you can also use those included patterns and any patterns that you may have created yourself. So that's this right here. And I created this using the geometric patterns function right here. Now, this is kind of like a kaleidoscope. So fun to play with. And you can either use, again, the included patterns that come with the app or the images on your phone. So this was made with this image of a bouquet of flowers down in the corner. Once you select your image, you can then select piece. And this is showing us the piece of the image that it's kind of kaleidoscoping. And as you tap around on the different pieces, the fabric totally changes the look of it, right? So I like to pick the one that has the pink, big pink flower in it. I'll zoom in here so you guys can get a better look. So you see how it's really just a kaleidoscope of my image, of my flowers. And the best part about this is that it's never the same. Every single design that you make in here is going to be different from the last one, right? So you see how different this one is from the one that I just created. So it's important that if you find something that you like or you create something you like, that you save it. So let's save this new one. I like how this one has a little bit of the sunflower in it too. Super cute. Now, once we've saved it, we can go back into Design Editor and go to the My Patterns tab. And there's our new fabric. Now, of course, you can adjust the size of this if you want to print more than 8.5 inches. You can go into custom size. Let's say we want to do a 10 by 10 quilt block. There you go. Fills it right up for you. Now, back in the geometric feature, I wanted to show you one more thing that you could play around with. This is extra fun to play with if you have pets, an image of your pets on here. If you get their little faces in there, you can create your little doggy fabric. How fun is that? Now,
Yeah, that's very cute.
That is awesome. So
I
cool.
know, it's so fun. So now we can actually go into size, and beyond just picking the piece of the image that's going to be kaleidoscoped, we can scale it up and down. And again, it's just affecting the look of our fabric. So now it's just kind of his eyes in there. There's also some different photo effects that you can apply. So you can get really creative with this. And I'll tell you, I have so much fun playing with this geometric fabric function. I love that you can see a built-in pattern or one of your images. You could print the pattern as is. Then you can print a version of it in the geometric function. And you have two fabrics that look totally different, but they match, and you can use both of these in a project to get a beautiful variated look.
Man, you could just put patches on jeans or just embellish anything or just add fabric to something you bought, or you could just do so many things.
You can do so many things with it. It's really fun. All right, I'm trying to think what else. Do we have any questions so far? I don't see any.
What comes with a printer when you get it?
So the printer comes with a starter roll of fabric, which is about 1.5 yards, and a starter set of ink, which is a little bit less ink than the standard ink that you'll buy to replace. So a standard roll looks like this. This is what you can buy once you run out of your 1.5 yards, which will be very quickly because you're going to be printing everything under the sun. And so the standard roll is 5 yards, and this is what that looks like. As far as care for the fabric, I could talk about that a little bit. So we just recommend that you wash the fabric in cold water, wash it by itself. The fabric is treated to absorb the inks as it's printed. That also means that if you wash it with your other clothes, let's say you wash with a red shirt, it will absorb some of the red ink from your red shirt. So just wash it by itself. And that way you can keep your print looking crisp and beautiful, and make sure to air dry. Don't put it in the dryer. Now I can show you guys a little bit more about the Artspira app. So a really great feature on here is the Artspira magazine. And this comes out every week, and it's full of projects that you can do at home with your scan and cut, embroidery machine, and PrintModa.
Okay, and that's with the free Artspira, not with the plus subscription model. We get the magazine free, don't we?
So for the free version, you get 1 magazine a month. So this one that we're looking at right now is the free magazine for October. And all the other weeks after that are for Artspira Plus only. So for the free version, you get 1 magazine a month.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you know the cost for the Artspira Plus, the monthly cost?
I believe it's $12.99.
Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, like I said, you get to save 100 projects on the app. You get access to, I think, 30 more fonts. I don't know the number for the amount of printing patterns that you get, but I'll show you guys again. I haven't even had time to look through all the new printing patterns. There are so many of them. So once you go in to our design editor, pattern, again, anything with a crown on here is part of Artspira Plus. So there's a lot of new patterns on here. And they'll just keep coming. I've been really happy with the new floral patterns. I have a couple printed out here. This is one of the new florals. How beautiful is that?
That is so pretty. The wildflowers, you said you did it earlier. Was that wildflowers from like a picture that you had taken of a picture, or was it? So I could just look at Monet's water lilies or anything, take a picture of it, and then I'd have that beautiful fabric.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
What about collegiate stuff? I know you can't sell it. We're not going to sell it, but if we had a team, the Braves are in the playoffs or something, and I had a picture of Braves and I did some cool thing like the dog, is that allowed to be given for holiday gifts?
As long as you're not selling it. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're still going on the patterns here. So lots and lots included with the Artspira Plus membership. So back to my magazine. So I actually created this breast cancer awareness wreath pick here. That was one of my projects. So each project comes with your materials list as well as a video that shows you the entire process on how to make it. And then, of course, step-by-step instructions and your printing data. So this is an embroidery project, and I imagine we're going to start adding PrintModa projects to these magazines really soon. Of course, the printer just came out, so we're letting everyone get caught up, get their printers, and get acquainted before we start doing tutorial projects. But in all these projects, your printing data is included right there, so you don't have to leave the project page. You transfer it to your machine, stitch it out, embroider it, cut it, and then you carry on with all of your steps. And by the end, you have a beautiful finished wreath pick. So these are also always beginner projects. So it's stress-free. It's an easy way to learn how to use your different machines and get comfortable with the Artspira app. What else did I miss? Feel like I flew through that demo. Normally I have everyone asking me questions, so I know I'm missing something.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think you did a fantastic job. Everything looks extremely exciting. And I know that everybody's excited to play around with the printer and make their own projects.
Yeah. Oh, let's print something. Yeah, of course. Okay. Let's print one of our new floral patterns. Play around with that. So go into my design editor. I'm going to choose custom size. I'm just going to print the minimum amount of fabric for right now. So that's 8.26. Let's see if it, nope, it's 8.27. It's very particular. Okay. So I have my canvas here, my blank canvas. Now I can go ahead and choose a pattern. Let's see. That's a nice one. I like that one. Okay. I'm going to save that. Let's see, we can add some text. Change the color so we can actually see it. What color will show up? Probably nothing will show up on this fabric. So I'm going to delete that. There we go. And as you're editing in here, let's say I accidentally changed the pattern. There's an undo button. We love an undo button, right? So there's an undo button, so you can just go back to what you were working on. No harm done. I'm not going to save this because I didn't really edit anything, so I could recreate this at any time. Now it's showing us our print preview. It's telling us the roll length. So we will need 8.27 inches to print this project. I have my printer selected. Under print settings, I have two print quality options, fine and eco. I have tested both of these. I've printed the same pattern in both modes. Can't tell the difference. So I keep it on eco mode because that supposedly uses less ink. So I'm just going to keep it on eco mode for everything because, like I said, you can't tell the difference between fine and eco mode. I could turn on borderless printing. And we're ready to print. So this is when it starts up, it'll make a little bit of a noise as it gets going and pulls the fabric in. But as it's printing, it's really, really quiet. So I'm going to zip it so you guys can listen to the printer go to work. So let's do it. Also, this notification comes up whenever you print something. It's just the app helping you out and letting you know, make sure you have 8.27 inches on your roll before you print this. And I will speak to keeping track of what's on your roll in a second. There we go. It's done printing. So I don't know if you guys heard the clicky click, click, click at the end. There's an automatic trimmer built into the printer. So it trims my fabric to exactly 8.27 inches for me. Wow, this looks great. Look at this.
That's
it's very nice.
pretty.
Beautiful.
So nice.
I love that one. Okay, that's one of my new favorite patterns right there. So it's recommended to let this dry for 15 minutes. That's why I'm kind of trying not to touch it too much. So I'm going to put it right back down on my printer, let it dry for a couple of minutes. And after it's dried, I'll just give it a few minutes for our demo purposes here. I will show you how easily the backing peels off. So for right now, while it's drying, I'm going to just speak to keeping track of what's on your roll. So I actually started a little spreadsheet for myself because there's no way to, other than to take the tray out and physically look at the roll, the printer isn't keeping track of how much you've printed, and you wouldn't want to start a big project and realize that you only have half the amount of fabric that you need for that project. And then the printer would just spit out a half printed project. That would be sad. So basically what I did was I started a spreadsheet that takes the overall number of inches on the roll. And I can pull it up here. Let's see. And so the overall inches, 5 yards, it's 196.8 inches. And it says it right on the box. And then each time I print a project, I printed a banner yesterday that was 51 inches. I just write it down, 8.5 inches. When we're done with the live stream, I'll put in 8.27 because that's what I just printed here. And it just keeps subtracting for me. So I know how much I have left on my roll exactly in inches. And that way I won't start printing a project that I don't have fabric for. So as of right now, for someone who uses this printer all the time, that's what I recommend doing, is just creating a little easy spreadsheet to keep track of your prints. And that way you know exactly what's left on your roll and when you need to order a new roll. Now,
Does your machine need any maintenance? You're talking about keeping up with your fabric, but sewing machines, we take the lint out of the bobbin case, we do different things. Anything we do with our printer?
as far as I know, there's no maintenance other than keeping track of your ink and replacing the ink when you need to. And there is a monitor right on screen. I haven't shown you guys the screen because there's really not much going on the printer screen. Everything you need is in the app. But there is a spot right on the screen that shows you your ink volume. So you can check that at any time. So right now it's showing me the levels of each color, CMYK, and it's telling me, I think it's saying, yeah, it's telling me how many pages I can print with each ink color at the levels that they're at right now. So that's pretty cool. We recommend to keep the machine on at all times because it actually has a self-cleaning function. So this goes into no maintenance. So if you keep your machine plugged in and turned on at all times, it goes into sleep mode within a matter of seconds. It's been in sleep mode most of the time that I've been on this live stream because if you're not directly touching it or printing something, it just goes to sleep. It uses very little power, but it does keep the ink from getting clogged. So you don't want your ink tubes to dry up. That's kind of the main maintenance thing that you want to keep in mind when you're using any printer, an inkjet printer or anything. So the self-cleaning mode will actually it'll clean itself, it'll avoid any clogs, and that way you're not wasting ink. Because if you were to turn it off for like a month or so, it might dry up and you might have to clean out all of the ink tubes, and that actually uses up a lot of ink. So as far as maintenance goes, the main thing to do is just keep it on, keep it in sleep mode, and it'll take care of the rest. If you find that your blade is getting dull, are replaceable as well, but we haven't heard about the blades getting dull in our testing or anything like that.
You said a large number of prints that we can get from the ink. What was that number again? It was very large.
35 yards.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way that we tested that was by printing this lovely lady right here. So there's a lot of ink coverage on that. We didn't print something that has a lot of white space. So I think this was a really good way to test that amount because there's a lot of ink on there. So they printed that over and over and over and over again until they ran out of ink, and it was 35 yards of fabric.
So seven, that's what you said, 7 rolls. I remembered it was something a lot. So every 7 rolls, get some more ink, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Could you show us how to load the fabric roll?
Yeah. Okay. So you have your fabric roll here. You're putting the fabric side down, and the shiny backing is going to be facing up. Let me take my phone away for a moment. There we go. Okay. So it slips. Get a good angle here. Whoops. So it slips right in. I mean, it's so easy. I could do it with one hand. If I could do it with one hand on camera, you can definitely do it. So here is the roll sliding right up. And again, there are some notches along the back here. You can kind of see these. They look like little teeth. And that's what pulls the fabric up into the machine to print. That's it. You're all done. So now you just load it right into the machine.
Yeah, we knew you'd done it earlier, and it was just done so quickly. We thought, show us that in slow motion, and that was fantastic to see that.
Yes, I know. I do it in the beginning usually, but it's so easy that sometimes you don't even realize what's happening. So on screen, it's also asking me to just confirm what I put into the tray here. It says confirm that it's fabric and it's an 11-inch roll. So I just press OK, and now it knows that there's a fabric roll in there. And I think there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Let me think. So as far as connecting your printer to your Artspira app, could not be easier. So from your home screen, you're going to go to, and a little, I should show you guys my phone again. That would help. There we go. You see there's a little blue speech bubble. It just popped up and said, let's set up your device to start creating. So that's what you're going to tap. That's your machine settings page. And here are all my machines that are connected. There's a lot of them. So I believe you can connect 5 or 6, I think it's 5 machines at once. So I'm maxed out. I've connected as many machines as I can. I have 3 embroidery machines connected and 1 scan and cut. And of course, my creative printer. So when you first get your printer, you're going to plug it in, you turn it on, you're going to connect, it turns on automatically actually, so plug it in, it will turn on, and then you're going to connect it to your wireless network at home. The key is to make sure that you are connected to the same wireless network on your printer and the device that you're using Artspira on. So if you have one wireless network at home, easy peasy, you connect both of them to the same network, then you'll go on to machine settings. If you're not registered with a machine, it'll say connect creative printer, tap on it, it finds the machine because this is most likely going to be the only PrintModa Studio you have in your house, and it will connect right away and you're ready to print just like that. So it's so easy to set up.
Can you connect multiple devices to the same printer? So if you had a tablet and a phone?
Yes. Yes, you can. And the way that you would do that actually is just by signing in to the same Artspira app on same Artspira account on both of your devices. And the account is registered to the printer, so you'll be able to connect through your phone or your tablet.
Wonderful. Yeah, we have it in the store. We have connected it to an iPad and to phones, and yeah, you've confirmed everything. We found it. It is so easy. We've got customers that have it that are loving it, and so there's no trick. It is as easy as it seems, and you're confirming that, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Yes, it's so easy. It's just fun to use. It's fun to browse through the app, all of the free designs that are in there, favorite them, create your own projects, use geometric patterns, print your own photos, create collages. It just goes on and on.
Is it very difficult to add the registration marks when you want to use this in conjunction with your scan and cut?
No, not at all. So I can show you that now. So the registration marks, let's see. I know that with the sea themed wall hanging down here, it does use registration marks. So let's create it and we'll take a look at that. So once we go to the cut, of course you can edit it and do all that fun stuff. Then you would print out the block. When you go to cut, it has the, this is the exact shape of your print. So you'll be able to scan your print into the scan and cut and print it out. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So under print settings, if you turn on registration mark for cut, go back to the preview, there are those registration marks. So you see them these little circle targets. So what's going to happen is you're going to put this on the mat for your scan and cut, scan it in, and then it will automatically snap the cut line using those registration marks to cut right around your project.
Easy, thank you.
No problem. You can also use that with your quilt labels. So we could take a look at those too really quick. So here's my quilt labels. Again, they're taking advantage of the minimum printing space is 8.5 inches. So instead of just putting one quilt label on here, they made a whole template with 6. But each of them are editable, so you can click and put a different name on each. So again, here are the registration marks in the corner, and then the cut file will snap 6 individual squares to your quilt labels that are printed. And because the fabric is woven, once you peel that backing away, you don't have to worry about the fabric warping or anything. It doesn't stretch, so there's no issues with alignment when you do the cutting. Let's take a look at our print, and let's peel off this backing material. All right. So you just have to get it going in one corner. There it goes. Very satisfying peel there. And now you have your beautiful cotton. Easy as that. And there's no sticky residue. It's nice and smooth. Kind of matches my shirt. Any other questions?
Is there any reason to keep that peel off from the back, or is it just go in the trash?
Nope, it goes right in the trash.
We couldn't think of anything either. Just didn't know if you had any good advice for what to do.
No. I told you guys I liked pink. Here I am picking another pink pattern to print. All right, well, I guess I'll do a little summary here. So in summary, we have an amazing inkjet printer that can replace your home office printer because it prints on paper. It uses standard inkjet inks, which we're already familiar with, and it holds a roll of fabric so you can print up to 3 yards of your very own custom fabric right at home.
Thank you.
Sure, and we have them in stock. Brother has introduced them. We have them at both of our locations, so people can come in and see it in person. They're on display, and yeah.
We also have all the supplies, the ink, the paper, everything that you need to make your projects. And we'll be glad to demo the unit if you come in and like to see it and try it out. We've got it set up at both of our locations. So our location in Alpharetta and our location in West Point as well.
Amazing. Head over to your nearest sewingmachine.com dealer, check out the machine, see it in person, and I hope you guys enjoyed this demo. I hope it was informative, and I hope it got you excited and inspired to use Brothers PrintModa Studio.